What's good, y'all, man? It's Striving to Prosper here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 beginner warframes that you should have. I'll be showing why you should have these frames and how to properly mod them to ensure your completion of the star chart. Let's get it. I understand the struggle of not being able to complete missions or wonder why you can't make it far in the early games. You probably are asking yourself, is my build bad? Is my warframe bad? Am I bad? Yes, you are. And that's okay, because I was completely trash when I was a baby 10-0. But fear not, my beautiful newbies. I'm here to help you become the legendary 10-0 I know you can be. And before I continue on, I want to add one important note. This is strictly my opinion on the frames that I believe that will help you guys along the way. Some of you guys may disagree, and that's 100% okay. Whatever frame and build works for you, that is all that matters. Okay, with that out the way, let's get to the top 5. This Warframe is one that I'm sure the vast majority of us holds dearly within our hearts. He's the first Warframe we technically can farm for in the star chart round start, and he offers so much to the table. That Warframe is Rhino. Rhino is a great frame to start out with in the early and in the late game. His tankiness is a huge survival boost and will keep you from dying majority of the time. You can take him on any mission and dominate the playing field with this big boy. Rhino's second ability, Iron Skin, is the ability that will carry you throughout the star chart, and the best thing about it, there's no duration to it. It will go away when the enemies shoot away the points, and if they do, just recast and you'll be back in action. Low level enemies have a very hard time breaking his Iron Skin, and you pretty much become immortal. I mean, just look how long it's taking these level 30 heavy corrupted Grineer to break Iron Skin. Yeah, there's 20 of them with machine guns. Let that sink in. And don't worry, your games will not look this threatening for a long while, so sit back and enjoy the sad attempt of them trying to take you out. Now for his other amazing ability, Roar. This grants you and other Warframes increased damage for a period of time and can help you blow through anyone in your path. There's another thing I forgot to mention. Because this is a beginner's guide, I won't get too deep into math with the abilities because for new players starting out, it just doesn't matter. But regardless, you'll be slaying in the early game with ease. But stay tuned for my future Warframe build guides to come, where I'll explain everything you need to know about every frame and their abilities. Now to farm for him, you have to go to Venus, play the stage called Fossa. It's an assassination mission and you have to kill the Jackal. And to obtain his blueprint, head over to the market in your ship, press Warframe, and help yourself out by pressing hide items without blueprints. What this does is hide items that can only be purchased with platinum. And a great word of advice, I would strongly recommend that you do not, I repeat, do not spend your platinum on regular frames or weapons. It's a complete waste of platinum, and especially since you can farm majority of the non-prime frames easily. Equinox, Protea. What? I didn't say anything. Now let's talk about how to properly build them. Keep in mind that you don't have to go crazy with the builds. The build I'm going to show you will be your bread and butter, not only for Rhino, but for the other 4 frames I'm going to tell you about. But every Warframe is different, so I'll add in what will make that particular frame better. For Rhino's case, you want to build for ability strength to increase the toughness of Iron Skin and the damage increase of Roar. This is the build that will ensure your survival and your kills, and for the ability strength, you will want to put on one of these mods. First things first, always have an aura slot because it increases your capacity limit. For now, put on anything you have available, and be sure to match the polarity symbols. You'll know it's matching if it's green, but when it's red, that means it doesn't match, and in fact it will cost more than the mod was originally, so be careful with that. So for this build, I have still charged for that extra melee damage. Again, use any aura mod for now. Then Vitality for that extra health, which increases our survivability, Flow for max energy, Intensify for ability strength, which is good for Iron Skin and for Roar, Continuity for ability duration so your abilities will last longer, and Steel Fiber for more armor. Now for Vitality, I wouldn't recommend maxing out this mod. Rank 7 should be good enough because later in your journey, you'll soon realize that this mod isn't really used as much since there are other mods that do it better and offer so much more. The same goes for Steel Fiber, but it's completely up to you. This build just offers a more flexible, strong, and affordable setup. Now that covers everything about Rhino. And for the next Warframe on my list, the concept pretty much stays the same. So for our next Warframe, we're going to be talking about the king of defense, Frost. Frost was and still is the king of defense. Okay, sure, there are other Warframes who could do it better, but during Jade's Shadow update, our boy has gotten a rework that puts him up with the top DPS Warframes. So not only can you defend an area, you can now dominate even better with Frost. His third ability, Snow Globe, is a great tool for holding down the fort and freezing enemies in the process. The Snow Globe slows enemies by 67%. Just like Rhino's Iron Skin, it also has 100 hit points instead of a duration. You can create up to 4 Snow Globes, and if you create a Snow Globe while inside of a globe, you'll increase the durability of it, making it harder to destroy. You and the enemies cannot shoot through them while on the outside, so keep that in mind, and to get rid of any unnecessary globes, just shoot them down with your first ability. And for his fourth ability, Avalanche. This ability freezes anyone around him while stripping their armor completely. Now with that out of the way, let's get to the build, shall we? As I stated before, the builds are pretty similar, but this time we went with the mod Stretch for more ability range, for Snow Globe and for Avalanche. And if you have more space for extra mods, you can mod for range with Augur Reach and put on Icy Avalanche for more survivability, or Biting Frost for that 200% critical chance and critical damage. Icy Avalanche and Biting Frost are augment mods. Every Warframe has an augment mod. They can make your Warframe better in a lot of cases, but can be a little tricky to obtain in the beginner stages. You'll need to align yourself with a syndicate and will have to level them up. The syndicate station is located to the left of the navigation. Cephalon Suda and Still Meridian has the Frost mods. Choose a syndicate wisely and happy farming. You could also go to the trade section of the chat and buy them for platinum. They shouldn't be no more than 15 plat, maybe 20 depending on the mod. Also, Augur mods are very important to have as well because they play a big part in making great builds. To gain access to Augur mods, you'll have to play bounties for Kanzu at Cetus on planet Earth. And with a build like this, you should have no problems dominating the star chart. And how to obtain Frost, you have to go to Ceres, play Exta, assassinate Lieutenant Lish Krill and Captain Vor. Now with that out the way, let's get to our next Warframe. Mag. Mag was my very first Warframe and is one of my personal favorites, for good reasons too. She's one of the 3 Warframes you choose from the start of the game. She's not usually picked from the 3 because she isn't as simple to learn for the newbies as Excalibur or Volt, but what if I told you that she is the better choice? Well again, you can play whoever, but try not to get salty that you didn't pick her when I explain all about her. And for my baby Tennos who is chat enough to choose her, you're in for a surprise. She's a great Warframe for damage and survivability. Her first ability is Pull. This move does what it says, pulls everyone around close to you in a pile. It's a decent grouping ability to get multiple kills at once. Her 2, Magnetize, is an ability you'll be using every single time. There are 2 variants of this ability, a tap and a hold. When you tap the ability, you enclose a target in a magnetic field that ensnares nearby enemies and deals damage over time. The field pulls polarized shards that orbited Mag and shrapnel into the deadly mix. Hold the ability, Mag surrounds herself in a magnetic field that absorbs range attacks and reflects damage back into a destructive cone. So basically you just casting a giant bubble that sucks enemies in and then it traps them, they shoot, they get torn to shreds, you shoot, they get torn to shreds. It's a win-win. Polarize is a very good ability because it emits an energy pulse that depletes enemy shields and armor as it restores ally shields. Debris left over from the pulse becomes polarized shards. Nearby polarized shards orbit Mag and cut enemies, inflicting slash status effect. Combining the polarized shards with Magnetize will increase your damage over time, killing enemies way faster than before. Then we have her 4, Crush. This ability isn't anything special when it comes to damage. Maybe you might get a ton of kills in the early game, but it very noticeably falls off later on. But the damage isn't what we're focused on anyways. Crush gives you and your allies, depending on how many enemies are around, shields or even over shields. And with her Augment Fracturing Crush, you gain a plus 50% casting speed, you strip 75% of enemy armor, and they are unable to move for 7 seconds. Crazy, right? This frame is literally perfect for new players. To obtain her, you have to go to Phobos, go to Iliad, and assassinate the Sergeant. Now on to the build. Still the same thing, but I would recommend putting on Streamline for efficiency. That means it'll cost less energy to cast your abilities. Choose any augment if you have space. I would recommend Counterpulse. This will jam enemy weapons and robotics for 4 seconds when casting Polarize. Very, very useful. Overall, Mag is an extremely fun Warframe to play, and I don't see how you couldn't make it all the way through the star chart with a Warframe like this. The next Warframe I want to bring to your attention is Nova. This Warframe right here is just a no-brainer, beneficial for you and your squad mates. Her first ability, Null Star, creates antimatter particles around her and targets nearby targets. It also offers damage reduction, and you cannot be knocked down when it's active. Her second ability, Antimatter Drop, is pretty decent, especially for crowd control. It's a large antimatter particle that can be guided with your aim, and when shooting directly at it, you charge it even more, and when you send it towards the ground near the enemies, it detonates, dealing lots of blast damage. Her 3 is self-explanatory. You create a wormhole that allows for instantaneous travel. And then for her 4, Molecular Prime, this ability primes enemies with antimatter, either slowing them down or speeding them up. This is what makes Nova, Nova. Tap 4 to activate her slow wave, and then you hold 4 for her speed up wave. When enemies are primed, they receive 100% damage vulnerability and detonate upon death. Enemies killed while being slowed has a 15% chance to drop health orbs, and enemies killed while sped up has a 15% chance to drop energy orbs. This makes Nova a menace on the battlefield. To get Nova, you'll have to go to Europa, play Nama, I think I said that right, and assassinate the Raptors. And the build will be the same, and it would be nice to add some duration or range. And for the last Warframe, we have Octavia. If there was ever a definition of let's get this party started, it would be Octavia. This beautiful queen right here can literally, and I mean literally, do it all. You want damage? She got that. You want stealth? She has that. You want AoE? She's invented that. You need buffs? She's with that. Everything you'll ever need, Octavia has it. Did I mention that she's a musical frame too? I think I made it obvious who my favorite Warframe is. Her kit is very simple, nothing complicated about her at all. All 4 of her abilities can be utilized together to not only destroy everything around you, but destroy everything around you in style. Her 1 is Mallet. She throws out a mallet that forces her foes to target it, repelling all the damage back to them on beat. Her 2 is Resonator, a rollerball that charms her foes to follow it. Combine it with Mallet and you just created the ultimate killer distraction. Her 3rd ability, Metronome, grants the players buffs when performing certain actions. Time jumps offer the Vivace speed buff. Crouching on beat grants cloaking with the Nocturne buff. Firing rhythmically bestows Opera multi-shot buff. And time melee swings give the Forte damage buff, which I would like to say is my forte. Okay, fine, that was bad. Get off my back.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright, man, alright. Anyways, y'all little haters, this can be utilized well and can offer so many benefits in combat. And then her 4, Amp. This offers you an increased mallet buffs and range, while also buffing you and your allies. See, all her abilities can be synergized extremely well, helping you beat the mission thrown your way. Literally, you just sit there and let your abilities work. And you want to see something really insane? Check this out. Level 200 enemies, same budget build that I showed you guys from before, and look how it just destroys these guys. It just exterminates them. It just eliminates them. Anything you can, look, just instantaneous. I resummoned them. Boom, dead, already gone. Resummon them again. Okay, this time, you know, like I said, if you want to add more duration, you can go for duration so it can last longer. So I have to I have to recast it and pop my invisibility again. But look, no time, gone, just gone. Level 200, bro. Now, there's a reason why I showed 3 different attempts of me killing the level 200 enemies. As you can see, every time I respawned them, the mallet killed them faster and faster and faster. What makes Mallet such an overpowered ability is not only does it deal out the damage that it takes, but it also stores the damage it takes and then it multiplies it. So pretty much it's gonna keep growing and growing and growing till no end. It's like the limitless ability in the game. And it doesn't matter how strong the enemy is, it will absorb the strongest attack, multiply it, and dish it right back out. Octavia is one of those Warframes that you could just let do all the work for you. And that's why I really believe, in my humble opinion, not only she's like the best Warframe for beginners, but a great Warframe to have overall. And I feel like everybody should have an Octavia in your arsenal. Now to obtain her, you have to play a bit different from the other Warframes. This one is a quest frame, so you have to make sure you completed the second dream, and once you've completed that, you should have access to Octavia's Anthem. Play that quest and you should be able to go from there. Alright, my dear baby Tennos, these were my Warframe suggestions I believe you should have as a beginner. And if you feel like you have any good Warframe suggestions or tips to add yourself, please feel free to leave a comment down below for everyone to see. We're here as a community to strive and prosper at the end of the day. I hope this video was very informative and I hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if you feel like I've earned it. Thank you all for watching, have a great day, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace out, man.